Well, g'day Spurs fans, it's Paul Hotspur Hippie here, the only psychedelic soccer show on the internet. Not feeling too psychedelic today. This is a review I definitely don't want to do, so I'm not going to enjoy the next few minutes. But hey, let's get it all out. The game finished this morning. Brighton and Hove Albion 3, Tottenham Hotspur 2, which was surprising given how well we played in the first half, and that's probably what makes this result really kind of disappointing, because we were totally dominant in the first half. It was like we carried on where we left off against Manchester United, and it looked like we were cruising to a see, maybe that's the problem. Looks like we were cruising to a healthy victory. 2-0 up, totally dominant, pressing Brighton all over the place. We stopped them from playing. They looked pretty ordinary. Players that were supposed to be good were loose on the ball, like Matoma. They were a bit ragged, and they started losing their composure a bit. Brighton did. The yellow cards started flowing, and it really looked like we had them on the ropes. Really did. But it's the old cliche, isn't it? It's a game of two halves, and what happened to Spurs in the second half? You can't play this style of football and advance your way up the pitch without competing for the ball, without hassling the opposition, because if you don't do that, you're just going to leave gaps all over the place. And that's exactly what happened. The rot started, I guess, with a fluff up by Destiny Udogie. I mean, those things happen, man. Those things happen. But there was no real response from Tottenham. It wasn't against the run of play. And if that hadn't happened, you know what I think about football. It's kind of what will be, will be. If so, really, if Destiny hadn't have done that, Brighton still would have won another way. The way it was 20 minutes of carnage, really. 20 minutes of carnage of us doing what I haven't seen for quite a while. At Tottenham, where you know, it was almost Dinamo Zagreb-esque, the way we just were standing off the ball. We just totally lost our intensity, totally lost our tempo. We became that side, just standing around, man. And you can't do that. You just can't do that in football. And we got punished. So I mean, deserved to lose. You can't expect to win a game of football where for 20 minutes you just don't compete for anything. It's not enough. You've got to be competitive the whole game through. And even then, you might not win, as a couple of games earlier in the season, like Newcastle or Leicester, you know, where we did play well and we did compete for the full length of the game, but we didn't get the result. That's okay. But this one, oh man, I'm going to have to carry this stench of defeat around yet again for another international break. It seems to be something that really does happen at Tottenham, where we will lose the game before an international break, just to give the fans something to think about for a couple of weeks. It's hard for me to pick where the fault lies, because it was just, we were off it. We were off it. The team was off it. If I was to point the finger at one player, I'd have to say Romero. He was the captain on the pitch, and he got sloppy. He got sloppy on the pitch. Players that I've not seen get sloppy, because like when I'm talking about games in the past, it's different players. So it's the first time I've really seen this bunch of players for a while. We had a couple of dodgy results last season, but not this bad. Different players. I don't know, man. I'd say Romero has a big hand to hold up for his part in it. Substitutions, could Ange have made substitutions earlier? Would it have changed the game? I'm not so sure, seeing from his comments after the game. I'm just wondering if part of it was maybe teaching the guys a bit of a lesson. Maybe, I don't know, in humility. When he did make the subs, it wasn't really enough to change the game anyway. And I mean, I can't remember a turnaround like that, not just in results wise, but the way that we had Brighton absolutely on the ropes in the first half, absolutely. And like I said, they were getting yellow cards and things like that, and you think, okay, when that starts, that's pretty hard to come back from, and they did, and they completely flipped it on us, and we became completely rattled. We started giving yellow cards out, silly little things here and there, lost our composure. Really, really disappointing, actually, really disappointing, that display. Ange said it was unacceptable, so we've got the unacceptable word coming out, and it really was. It was bitterly disappointing, Now, the other side of this, I'm not going to be watching any. I'm just going to take 2 weeks break. I don't know if I'll be doing much on this channel. I'll probably do the odd streaming of video here and there, but already, like I said the other day. As soon as we have a stumble, all the fair weather fans will get their knives out, and it started straight away. At the end of my watch along, these knobheads came along and didn't shut the door over there. Started, slagging me off and slagging Ange off and all this sort of stuff. And I just think, how pathetic are these people that, when you lose a game, they like to put the boot into the other fans. I like to put the boot in them when we win. But I don't know. It's a weird old world, isn't it? It's a weird old world. I don't understand it. I don't want to understand it. But everyone's going to be an expert. All the people that were Ange out that went a bit quiet are going to be Ange out again after that result. Like Ange could have done something from the side of the pitch. I mean, it wasn't him that buggered it up like destiny. Possibly the substitutions could have been earlier. I don't know if that would have changed it or not. Who knows, man? It's all ifs and buts and monkey nuts. So it's going to be a couple of weeks of social media turmoil, bullshit, fair weather fans sticking their chest out. I mean, they're worse than Arsenal fans, aren't they, really? At least Arsenal fans. It's part of the whole social contract of being a football fan. You expect them to give us shit and we give them shit, and no one really cares, or they shouldn't, and we shouldn't. That's football. But when your own fans do it, I think it's not on. It's quite pathetic. It's a loser mentality, actually. All these people that think they know how to win things, I don't think they know shit about winning. But look, Ange was pissed off after the game, and rightfully so, and it's his job to fix it, isn't it? To stop this shit happening. This lack of tempo that crept into our game. Did we think we'd already won it? Was it complacent? I don't know. It sounds like part of it, but when you see players standing around, it's not good, man. It's not good. So maybe they all thought they were just ready for the international break, have a bit of a jolly, and it isn't acceptable, man. It isn't acceptable. Playing our style of football, you have to do it for 90 minutes. You can't take your eye off the ball. You can't play half the game. It's a holeless, bowless unit. So I'm seeing that, already there's criticism saying Ange with the substitutions, Ange with his half-time team talk, Ange standing there not giving the players instructions. Well, he was. But what do you want him to do? Run on the pitch and kick a ball? But hey, look, it's a challenge for him. It's a challenge for him to sort this mentality out. But he'll do it. He'll sort it out. I'm not worried about it. Best man for the job. He will get some players suitably motivated, I guess, and hopefully we can start a new winning streak. 5 wins in a row was pretty good. It was nice to have been 6. Let's hope we get 6 next time. I guess a bright spark from the first half. Brennan Johnson, 6 goals in 6 games. That was pretty good. We're starting to take more chances. We could have had the game put to bed, but even so, you know, it doesn't. Like I say, football's football. And even if we'd have gone into a half-time break, say 4-0 up, Brighton would have won based on that second half. You know, I think football finds a way of, like water always finds its own level. It's a game of energy and spirit and vibe and all that hippie shit that probably some of you are shaking their heads at. But it wasn't enough today. It wasn't enough from Tottenham. It was very, very disappointing performance. You know, to think that 20 minutes overshadowed 45 minutes in the first half, that's competitive football, isn't it? So yeah, looking forward to seeing all the trolls and muppets and fair weather fans with their loser mentality and their solutions, because they're all bloody experts on how to do, you know, obviously they're all Premier League managers, they're all pro footballers, they've all won low, they've all got trophy cabinets full of stuff. So we're going to have to, well, I'm not going to listen to them, bugger it. They can just carry on doing what they're doing, because what will inevitably happen is in 2 weeks' time when we come back after the break, we're going to carry on where we left off from Manchester United, hopefully. And this performance will be an aberration. That's what I'm hoping. I believe they call hope these days toxic positivity, which is one of the most moronic phrases I've ever heard. But hey, when people got to be miserable and they can't figure out happiness for themselves, they've got to sky at people who are happy. So, optimistic for the future still, because we have come a long way and we show that we can play. And we just got to iron out this lapse of, I don't know, lapse of bloody everything that happened in that game. It was shocking, absolutely shocking. The Dreamometer, the good news is the Dreamometer is unaffected because we lost against Brighton away last year, and so that stays at 66 points. It's just a shame, you know. I mean, Aston Villa and Chelsea both dropped points. We could have gone above Newcastle, but hey, the season's still young. The quad is still on if they can just cut this shit out. And, you know, maybe it's nice to be when we get Sonny back, because, like I say, if I was going to point the finger at one player, with the captain's armband, Romero did let us down today, and he was sloppy in defence as well. And he was slow at playing the ball, which works to our advantage sometimes, but not today. So he's got to cop this one on the chin and hopefully have a good look, walk down the hall of mirrors and have a good hard look at himself, as Ryan H.G. would say, and get his act together. Get his act together. There you go, man. That's football, eh? It's a harsh old mistress, isn't it? Harsh old mistress. Just when you think you're on top of things, it comes and boots you up the date. Which is fine as a fan, because I'm not on the pitch, so I can say whatever I want. So I'm going to say the quad is still on. Don't give up hope. Don't give up your toxic positivity, because we're Tottenham Hotspur, and despite that 20-minute of shite, apart from that, we are the greatest football team the galaxy has ever seen. Peace and love, man. Peace and love, and come on, you Spurs.